What's going on, you guys? It's your boy Joe Castro, aka Philly Fresco. It is Philly the podcast. As always, I went and looked at the community posts. Shout out to everybody that went and voted. You guys want to know some of the takeaways that I learned from the Sirianni interview. So that's what we're going to go over. Before we get into that, please do hit that like, hit that subscribe. We are so close to 1,200. That is my goal by the end of the month. If we hit it, I'll be so happy. If you guys can help me, I would really appreciate that. So let's get into it. So the first thing that came out, that popped out to me when he was talking was what he said about competition. Okay. He said it in his core values. He says that competition is very important, on and off the field. He mentioned, becoming better in the film room, becoming better in the positional group room, and then obviously becoming better on the field through competition. So that says a lot to me. That says that, these positions will not be handed out. Obviously, he could not answer, the whole Carson or Jalen. I think we all knew that he wasn't going to be able to answer it. It is what it is. We knew that was what was going to happen. But he did kind of leak out that he's not just going to be handing out these jobs. He did say that every position is open. That means a lot. Let's get away from the quarterback position for a second. That means a lot for people like, Jordan Mailata, Andre Dillard, Nate Herbig, people like that, Isaac Sayamalu. The list goes on and on. People that can be fighting for bigger roles that maybe were not given them due to being paid less. I feel like that's kind of what the decisions were based on, was who were paying the most and who should be on the field. Guys like Josh Sweat. Like I said, the list goes on and on of people that this can help a lot. Open competition is something that I feel is so elementary, and for us to lose that aspect in our football team was big. So, for him to bring that up and for him to be so open to saying that, listen, every position is open, every position is going to have a competition, that was exciting for me. I'm happy to hear that. Something else that he said was that he's going to have easier to learn systems. So we hear easier to learn systems and we hear, the defense is going to chomp this up, right? So he said they're going to be complex to the defense, but there's stuff that he feels his team can learn quickly and master quickly. This makes sense in a lot of ways, and it doesn't make sense in some ways, depending on how you want to look at it. Obviously, we'll see what the end product is, but in my opinion, this makes sense because you have a lot of young guys. You want to focus, which I'll get to as well. You want to focus on developing these young guys and giving them an easy path to success.
What's going on, everybody? John Dornbos here at the Philadelphia Eagles. I want to say thank you to all the great fans in my journey of holding the most consecutive games in Philadelphia Eagles history with 162. And with that, let's give a shout out to the Philly podcast and Philly Fresco. May all you rock on, baby. Hey, I'm John Dornbos. Go Birds.
Right? You want to set them up for success. So the easiest way of doing that is giving them stuff that they can adapt to quickly. And when you say easy to learn, it's not, just go run a streak. We know that's probably not what it's going to be. What it's more likely going to be, it's going to be, stuff that you did in college that you're comfortable with. We're going to incorporate that, small into our offense, and we're going to make you comfortable. So that's what I'm looking forward towards. I should say. I think some people heard easy to learn and got a little bit worried. So I just wanted to kind of clarify that. I think he means more so easier for the players to be, to adapt to and get accustomed to quickly, which I think is very important. So I kind of touched on this, just saying this, but he spoke on fundamentals. This is something that we have been harping on this channel for a while. We need to get development out of these core players, out of these young players. And not only that, we need to focus on fundamentals, and it starts with the quarterback. Whether it is Jalen Hurts or it is Carson Wentz, both of them are devoid in areas when it comes to fundamentals. They both lack in certain areas. Not talking junk, just being honest, okay? So if he's already coming into the building, we know he probably already seen this team. He's not going to show his hands in his, or his cards, I should say, in his first meeting. He's not going to tell you what pitch he's throwing at your first at bat. Let's put it that way. He's going to come in and he's going to really, really sit down and evaluate these players. Anybody can look at film. I can look at film and tell you what's wrong. You can look at film and tell us what's wrong. he needs to meet these players. He needs to see it in their face how they act, how they react to him, and how they're gonna fit into this team, not just offense. So I think that's very important, and it goes kind of back to what he said with connecting. He wants players to connect to players, coaches to connect to coaches, coaches connect to players, players to coaches. So he wants that family feel, which I love a lot. Now, one thing I'm gonna say that I know a lot of people felt as though maybe he would have gave us some more of an answer on this, but Carson versus Jalen was not going to get answered. It wasn't going to get solved yesterday. The one thing I will say, and I'm not trying to stir up no drama, but for me, silence says a lot more than just if he would have went out there and been like, listen, I talked to Carson, we should be good, we're going to move forward. I think that would have made me feel a lot better. Him just saying I can't speak on it kind of makes me feel like there's something more there. So I don't know. Like I said, I don't want to, spread to. I hope that we can figure this out and we have the best quarterback for our team moving forward. But I like this guy. I think a lot of people, are giving him a little bit too much slack. So one more thing that he talked about was the way that he wanted to attack this offense. So he was talking about multiple different schemes, talking about how he had previous experience with Andrew Luck, Jacoby Brissett, and Phillip Rivers, and how every time you saw the offense change to mold to what the quarterback did. So what does that tell me? That tells me that he's going to be more fluid than Doug Peterson especially was last year. We saw a lot of times that it felt like it was the same 10 plays every week. I don't think we'll see that. I think we're going to see a lot of tinkering. We have a lot of offensive minds on the coaching staff and a lot of QB savvy guys. So whoever our quarterback is, I feel it's going to be an offense that is very tailored to what they do well, which is something I think all Eagles fans can be very happy about. All right. So the last thing I want to talk about is something I know we all want to know. And how long is this going to take? I'm glad that they asked this question because I was wondering. We all assume that it's going to be a 2-3 year. Well, some of us, I won't say all of us. Some say it's a 2-3 year. Some say we'll be right back in the playoffs next year. So they asked him what the timetable is on the playoff return. He didn't give a timetable, but he did say that he was very confident in the talent that he has around him and the coaching staff that he has around him. So I feel, now I'm reaching for straws on this one, but the way he said it, his demeanor when saying it, it looked like he really did mean it. It really felt like he did have confidence in what he had. He brought up Rager, brought up a lot of the wide receivers, to be 100% honest. Seems like he really likes what we have at the wide receiver spot. So, and before I go, whoa. We will talk quickly about the Howie. Listen, Howie Roseman was going to have his say in this roster no matter what. Okay, that was not going to change. We all hate to hear it, but at least it sounds like Nick Sirianni is going to have game day control, which I think Doug Peterson did not have. So he will be able to at least say who suits up and who's going to be playing, which I think is, only logical. But it is very normal for GMs to have final say, or at least a very high say in what the final 53 looks like. It is what it is. Don't get too scared about that. That's just how things happen. I think I think it's 47 or 40, something like that. The people that suit up for the actual game. That's what Nick Sirianni will be, worried about. So that's what's more important to me right now. But yeah, other than that, you guys let me know what you guys think. And it is Fly Eagles Fly, and we are out here. Peace.